Long time ago in ancient China, there was a village called Loo Ban by the Qingshui River. There lived an old mason, Lu. His entire life was dedicated to master his craft, with which he built two homes. But even after years of toil and hardship, old Master Lu was not satisfied with his skills. He never took any disciples, not even his own children under his tutelage. With his money spent wisely, he saved 300 ounces of silver and three marvelous race horses. He wished to give these to his sons so that they could travel far and learn from the great master. His elder sons Lu Xuan and Lu Bin were extremely lazy. Only the youngest, Loo Ban, was keen on learning the crafts. Loo Ban was always ready to help his father and learnt his lessons with great interest and dedication. By the tender age of 10, Loo Ban already knew how to handle almost all the tools that his father used. He could make small almirahs, benches, carriages all by himself. He saw his mother struggling to spin and weave cotton sitting on the bed. So he made her a very comfortable work chair after cutting the wood of a willow tree. He told her, Mama, please sit on this and spin your yarn on this. You won't be troubled by a bad backache. Luban's mama was overjoyed. Luban's sister had nothing to keep her precious needles and threads, so he crafted a small, beautiful box from the woods of a cedar tree. He told her, Sister, keep all your small items in this so that they are not lost. The boys were growing up fast. One day, old Mason Lou told them, Sons, none of you are kids anymore. You cannot depend on me for your entire life. Take 1 ounce of silver and one racing horse each and go to the Yunnan mountains to learn the craft from the great master. Lu Xuan, the eldest son and the first to go, thought, Yunnan mountains are too far off. What is the need to go and find a master? He wasted 3 years traveling randomly, couldn't learn anything, and ended up spending all his money. Finally, he sold his racehorse and returned empty handed back home. Old Mason Lou was furious and threw him out of the house. It was then the turn of the middle son, Lu Bin. Old Mason Lou asked him too to go to Yunnan mountains and find a master to learn the craft. Lu Bin left home reluctantly. With a heavy heart, he slowly rode away from home. Lu Bin had heard Yunnan mountains were 10,000 li away. After a few days of traveling, he got tired and frustrated. He too traveled aimlessly and spent all his money. But he couldn't muster enough courage to return home. After waiting for many days, finally old Master Lu called his youngest son Loo Ban and told him, Sweet child of mine, your two elder brothers are worthless. Now my entire hope depends on you. Loo Ban said, Don't worry, Papa. I'll find the master mason and won't return till I have learnt the finest skills and crafts. After saying goodbye to his family, Loo Ban rode as fast as he could towards the east. He travelled more than 300 li in a day and covered 3,000 li in 10 days. One day he saw that at the end of the paved road was standing a humongous mountain. The mountain was very steep. It was covered by trees with very sharp thorns. There were very sharp stones all over too. Lou was unable to figure out what he should do when suddenly an old woodcutter appeared and came near him. Loo Ban asked him very politely, Dear sir, how far is Yunnan mountains? The old woodcutter ran his fingers through his grey flowing beards and thought for a while. Then he replied, Oh, it is 6,000 li if you go straight, and 12,000 li if you go around. Son, if you wish to go by the shortest route, you have to cross this huge mountain. But let me tell you, it is not a small task. Loo Ban said, Never mind, I will definitely cross this mountain and go. The old woodcutter was pleased with Loo Ban's determination and handed him a wood chopper. After thanking the old woodcutter, Loo Ban started his journey up through the thorniest of the woods. He used the wood chopper to clear his ways, and after great difficulty, he finally reached the top. From there, for 10 continuous days, he rode east and traveled 3,000 li more. Suddenly, he faced a massive river. The river was deep with pitch dark water. The river current was huge and it looked dangerous. Loo Ban was deep in thoughts to find a way of crossing the river when he saw a small boat coming from the other side. As the boat neared him, Loo Ban asked the boatman how far was Yunnan Mountains. Boatman counted on his fingers and replied, "Very far. 3,000 li if you go straight, 6,000 li if you go around. But to go straight, you have to cross this river. And as you can see, this river is very dangerous. So many people have died in the past trying to cross it." Loo Ban said, "Brother, I fear nothing. I will not stop even if there are thousands of difficulties ahead." Looking at his steadfastness, Boatman said, "Brother, come quickly and hop on my boat with your horse. Let me try taking you to the other side." After facing turbulent, raging water, the boat managed to reach the other bank. Loo Ban thanked the boatman and rode quickly for 10 more days. He covered 3,000 li finally. He saw a stunning range of mountains in front of him. He thought to himself, "Are these the Yunnan Mountains?" Looking around, Loo Ban saw a small cottage at the base of the mountains. He saw an old granny sitting outside. He went near her and asked if this was the famous Yunnan Mountains. Old Granny said, "Yes, these are indeed the mighty Yunnan Mountains. There are 999 narrow tracks on these mountains." Loo Ban followed Old Granny's instruction and took the middle path. He walked straight up. When he reached the mountain top, he saw a house in the middle of a beautiful patch of garden and greeneries. He went near it and saw that it was a big 3-roomed cottage. Loo Ban knocked the front door. There was no response. He went inside. The floor of the room had all kinds of tools spread across haphazardly in an untidy way. He saw an old man with lots of grey hair covering his face all over, sleeping peacefully on the bed in a corner of the room and snoring like a thunderbolt. Loo Ban immediately recognized him as the great master. He couldn't control his joy. Loo Ban didn't disturb the great master's deep sleep. Instead, he collected all the tools and organized them one by one inside the toolboxes, tidying up the room. Then he sat straight on a chair nearby the bed and waited for the great master to wake up. He waited and waited, though the great master moved a bit now and then, but he didn't quite get awake. The long resounding sleep finally got over after the sunset. The great master sat up and Loo Ban greeted and said, "Great master, I have come from afar. Please take me as a disciple and teach me all the skills." Great master thought for a while and replied, "Okay, I will ask you a few questions. If you can answer them correctly, I'll accept you as my disciple. Else, you would return exactly the way you have come this far." He took Loo Ban outside and asked, "For an average 3-room house, what all furniture are needed and what kind of a woodwork should be done?" Loo Ban easily answered these questions correctly. After getting the right answers, Great Master asked again, "Certain skills are learnt by some in 3 months, but some take 3 years. What's the difference?" Loo Ban thought for a while and replied, "The one who learns in 3 months has learned through his eyes. The one who took 3 years to learn has learned through his mind and has internalized the learning." Great Master was very pleased and asked again. Master taught 2 students. The first one used his axe and made a mountain of gold. The second one used his axe and made so many things to etch his name in the hearts of people. Whose path would you follow? Loo Ban said without any hesitation, "The second one." Great Master was completely satisfied with all the answers. Loo Ban got his apprenticeship. After coming back inside the house, Great Master said, to learn the skills, you must first learn how to use the tools. But I haven't been using much of mine since last 500 years. Quickly sharpen and mend these. Loo Ban looked closely at the tools and saw that the axe has been wasted. The saw has no sharp edges left, and the rest are all either badly bent or blunt. They were also badly rusted. For the next 7 days and 7 nights, Loo Ban cleaned, sharpened, and mended all the instruments and tools one by one with great dedication. After he finished, all the tools were looking new and they were glistening. Loo Ban showed the tools to Great Master. He didn't speak a word but nodded approvingly. After a while, Great Master said, I will test the saw now. That dead, dilapidated tree near the house is 500 years old. Go and cut it immediately. Loo Ban at once marched forward with the saw, but the tree was huge. It took Loo Ban 12 days and 12 nights to cut through and fell it. Then the Great Master said, now let us test the axe. Make beams out of this wood. There should be no thorn and it should be totally round. Another 12 days and 12 nights passed and Loo Ban chiseled the beam. Great Master said, not enough. Now make 2400 shapes. That should be square, round, cubic and flat. 600 each. Again, another 12 days and 12 nights and the shapes were all done. Finally, the Great Master was very happy. He praised Loo Ban and said, oh, my wonderful boy, nothing can stop you. I'll surely teach you all I know. Saying this, Great Master took Loo Ban to the Western Hall. Loo Ban was awestruck. The Western Hall had all kinds of models scattered everywhere across the room. They were all exquisitely crafted. Great Master said, dismantle each one of the models and put it back together exactly as it was. Keep doing this and you will learn a lot of skills. Loo Ban loved going through the models and understanding the crafts of each. Instead of once, as his master instructed, he couldn't help himself dismantling and assembling thrice each of the models. He refused to take breaks and even refused to eat till he finished. He was completely overtaken and engrossed in the modeling and remodeling. This was how Loo Ban educated himself. He spent 3 years with Great Master and learnt all that he could. Great Master used to give him all kinds of models after completely dismantling them, and Loo Ban used to put them together through his memory. He could even create models as per new and tricky designs stated by the Great Master. One day, Great Master told Loo Ban, son, 3 years have passed. Now you know enough. It is time for you to return home. Loo Ban did not want to leave. Great Master said again, but it is time to apply your knowledge and skills. You must leave. As Loo Ban was getting ready to leave, Great Master said, okay, for keepsake and to remember me, you may take my axe, my saw, and some other tools with you. Loo Ban said with teary eyes, I am too poor to give you anything, Great Master. How should I repay and show my respect? Great Master smiled and said, you don't need to give me anything. Just remember, you should never spoil my reputation. Saying goodbye, Loo Ban took a ride down the mountain track on his horse. His eyes looked back again and again to catch a glimpse of what he was leaving behind. At the base of the mountain, Loo Ban couldn't find the old granny who had guided him. He made a big temple at the place in her remembrance. Loo Ban came next to the river that he had crossed 3 years back. He couldn't find the boatman either. Loo Ban made a big bridge for him and others to ease crossing over. Moving towards home, Loo Ban couldn't find the good woodcutter as well, the one who had given him the wood chopper and helped him cross the thorny mountain. Loo Ban made a beautiful pagoda at the mountain top to remember the woodcutter. Finally, Loo Ban returned home to his delighted parents and family. Loo Ban never forgot all that the great master taught him. He used all his acquired skills and knowledge to make life better for everyone. Good words spread far and wide about him, and he created many amazing works. All around, inspiring tales of Loo Ban were passed among people, and everyone loved to listen to his stories. Loo Ban's sincerity and dedication, his education and achievements became a great lesson for everyone.